For nearly 2,000 years, giant Roman structures have stood against earthquakes, storms, wars, and time itself. The Pantheon Dome, the aqueducts, the seawalls that still hold firm beneath the violent Mediterranean waves. But here's the mystery. Modern concrete begins to crumble in just 50 to 100 years, while Roman concrete has lasted for almost 2,000. Engineers have studied it, scientists have tested it, and historians have chased clues hidden in ruins, all to answer one question. What secret did the Romans know that we forgot? Today we uncover the real story of Roman concrete, why it's stronger, why it heals itself, and how a forgotten recipe might shape the future of construction. For nearly 2 millennia, some of the grandest Roman structures have defied time itself. The Pantheon, constructed around 125 AD, boasts the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome, spanning over 43 meters in diameter. It has withstood centuries of earthquakes, lightning strikes, and the erosion of weather, all without steel reinforcement. Modern engineers marvel at its stability, asking themselves how ancient builders could create such a feat with materials that should have crumbled long ago. Across the Roman Empire, aqueducts carved through valleys and mountains still carry water along perfectly aligned channels, some stretching over 50 kilometers. The arches remain intact, their mortar still gripping the stones after hundreds of years, even though modern concrete would have long since fractured under the same pressure. Roman harbors, built directly into salt water along the Mediterranean coast, present one of the most perplexing cases. Modern engineers know that seawater is among the most destructive forces for concrete. Chloride ions penetrate the material, corroding steel reinforcements and causing structural collapse within decades. Yet Roman piers, breakwaters, and seawalls remain largely intact, many submerged and battered by constant tides, waves, and storms. In some cases, the concrete has actually grown stronger over time, forming crystalline structures that bond the stones more tightly than the original mixture. Even more puzzling is the Colosseum, which has endured earthquakes, centuries of neglect, and the weight of thousands of spectators over the years. The concrete arches, vaults, and foundations are still remarkably stable. Cracks exist, but they have not propagated catastrophically. Stone blocks remain interlocked, mortar has held despite exposure to the elements, and the entire amphitheater has survived repeated seismic activity that would have caused modern structures to fail entirely. Scientists examining samples from these structures discovered that Roman concrete contains compounds completely absent from contemporary concrete. Microscopic analyses revealed crystals of aluminum tobermorite, a rare mineral that forms naturally in specific chemical reactions over time. This mineral actually reinforces the concrete, allowing it to become stronger with age instead of weaker. Modern Portland cement lacks this self-reinforcing property, which explains why bridges, skyscrapers, and seawalls built in the last century deteriorate so quickly compared to ancient Roman structures. Even the scale of Roman construction adds to the mystery. Structures were built with limited tools, no modern machinery, and crude lifting technology. Workers transported massive amounts of volcanic ash, lime, and stones over long distances, mixed them with water, and poured them into molds or frameworks. Yet the resulting concrete not only supported colossal weight but also withstood the chemical attack of seawater, the physical stress of earthquakes, and the slow but relentless decay of time. Archaeologists and engineers are particularly intrigued by the chemical behavior of Roman marine concrete. In underwater structures, seawater reacts with volcanic ash in a process called pozzolanic reaction, forming new minerals that fill tiny cracks and pores. This reaction occurs over decades or even centuries, meaning the longer the concrete is submerged, the stronger it becomes. It's as though the ocean itself participates in repairing and reinforcing the structure, an effect that modern scientists can barely replicate with contemporary technology. The mystery deepens when considering the longevity of the mortar. In many ancient walls, the mortar has held stronger than the stone blocks themselves, resisting crumbling and erosion. Modern chemistry cannot fully explain why Roman mortar hardened so effectively, particularly in marine environments. The combination of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater triggers a complex series of reactions that creates a crystalline network capable of self-repair and reinforcement, a property that makes Roman concrete almost immune to the decay that affects modern concrete after mere decades. The durability of Roman concrete isn't just a curiosity, it is a challenge to modern engineering assumptions. Engineers routinely calculate the lifespan of structures based on the known weaknesses of Portland cement. Yet Roman concrete exceeds those expectations by an order of magnitude, forcing researchers to reconsider fundamental principles of material science. In short, Roman concrete presents a paradox, a material both ancient and advanced, simple in composition yet complex in behavior, long-lasting without steel reinforcement and self-strengthening with age. Every surviving Roman structure is a silent testimony to knowledge that has been partially lost, a material miracle built on the foundations of empirical observation, volcanic geology, and chemical insight. The question remains, how did the Romans discover this recipe, and why has the modern world struggled for centuries to replicate it? Understanding the secret of Roman concrete is not merely an academic exercise. It could revolutionize construction, improve sustainability, and even reduce global carbon emissions. But the first step is to look closer at the lost formula that allowed Rome to build an empire that still stands, nearly 2,000 years later. For centuries, historians believed they understood the Roman concrete recipe. Mix lime, volcanic ash, and stones, and the material would harden into durable structures. On the surface, this seems simple, almost rudimentary. Yet, as engineers and chemists examined surviving structures, they realized something extraordinary. The concrete was far more sophisticated than anyone had imagined. The first clue came from studying ancient harbors. Roman engineers had constructed piers, breakwaters, and seawalls directly in seawater, often in areas exposed to storm surges and tidal forces. Modern scientists knew that any contemporary concrete would quickly crumble under such conditions. Yet, Roman marine concrete had lasted almost 2,000 years. Something about the mixture allowed it not only to resist chemical erosion but, in many cases, to become stronger with time. Researchers discovered that the secret lay in pozzolanic ash, a fine volcanic material sourced from eruptions around Mount Vesuvius, the Alban Hills, and other regions of Italy. This ash was not ordinary dirt. It contained reactive silica and alumina, compounds capable of forming new minerals when mixed with lime and water. When combined, the materials produced a chemical reaction known as the pozzolanic reaction, which is still used today in some specialized concretes, but rarely with the same effectiveness or longevity. Laboratory analysis of Roman concrete samples revealed something astonishing. Microscopic crystals of aluminum tobermarite and stratlingite embedded within the material. These crystals acted as a natural reinforcement, filling gaps and binding the aggregate together. Over decades or even centuries, the crystals grew slowly, strengthening the concrete from the inside out. In essence, Roman concrete is a living material, improving with time rather than decaying. Modern concrete, by contrast, loses strength as chemical bonds degrade, particularly when exposed to moisture or chloride ions. But pozzolanic ash was only one part of the secret. The Romans also incorporated lime clasts, small chunks of partially unreacted lime, into the mixture. These clasts served a remarkable purpose. When cracks formed in the concrete, water would penetrate, triggering a chemical reaction with the lime clasts. This reaction produced additional calcium hydroxide, which then crystallized into the gaps, effectively healing the cracks naturally over time. The concrete was, in a sense, self-repairing. Further investigation revealed that the Romans meticulously adjusted the proportions of their ingredients depending on the intended use. For marine applications, more volcanic ash was added to enhance the pozzolanic reaction, while for domes and large buildings, they used lighter aggregates such as pumice to reduce weight without compromising strength. This attention to detail demonstrates that Roman engineers weren't just using a standard recipe, they were practicing an early form of materials science, blending geology, chemistry, and practical experimentation. Archaeologists also found that the Romans sometimes varied the ash source depending on location, choosing materials with specific chemical compositions to achieve optimal performance. For example, ash from the Pozzuoli region produced a particularly reactive mixture that hardened underwater, while ash from other volcanic regions created more durable structures on land. These choices required knowledge of local geology, careful testing, and empirical observation, essentially an early laboratory approach long before modern chemistry existed. Another fascinating aspect of Roman concrete was its interaction with seawater. Unlike modern concrete, which is gradually degraded by chloride ions, Roman marine concrete underwent a reaction with the saltwater itself. The minerals in the volcanic ash reacted with seawater, producing additional aluminum tobermorite crystals that strengthened the concrete over decades. In effect, the ocean itself became a natural reinforcing agent, turning a destructive force into a tool for durability. The more scientists analyzed, the clearer it became. Roman concrete was not just a building material, it was a chemical marvel. Its resilience did not come from luck or primitive craftsmanship but from carefully observed, empirically tested, and deliberately engineered chemistry. The Romans had discovered, through centuries of experimentation, a method of creating concrete that could survive the ages, a material that modern engineers have struggled to replicate even with advanced technology. In summary, Roman concrete combined three critical elements: volcanic ash, pozzolana, for chemical reaction, lime clasts for self-healing, and carefully selected aggregates for structural integrity. The result was a material that was simultaneously strong, flexible, and capable of enduring the most challenging environmental conditions. Understanding this lost recipe is more than an academic exercise. It is a window into ancient innovation, showing that Rome's greatest engineering achievements were not only architectural but chemical, revealing a knowledge of materials that rivals, and in some cases surpasses, modern science. The true secret behind Roman concrete lies in a seemingly ordinary substance: volcanic ash, known as pozzolana. This ash, harvested from volcanic regions near Rome and Naples, contains compounds that make it extraordinarily reactive when mixed with lime and water. When Romans combined pozzolana with lime, a slow chemical reaction occurred. Over months and even years, this reaction created tiny needle-like crystals called aluminum tobermorite. These crystals grew throughout the concrete, filling gaps, binding the stones, and reinforcing the material at a microscopic level. It was as if the concrete was healing itself from the inside out, becoming stronger rather than weaker with age. The brilliance of Roman engineers was not just in discovering volcanic ash but in understanding its practical use. They knew that certain types of ash were better suited for marine construction, forming concrete that could withstand the corrosive effects of seawater. Others were ideal for buildings and aqueducts, providing lightweight yet resilient structures. This reaction is entirely natural, no modern steel reinforcement required. The more the concrete ages, the more the crystals form, which explains why ancient Roman harbors and monuments have lasted nearly 2,000 years. While modern concrete structures begin to deteriorate in just decades. Roman concrete, in essence, was an early form of smart material. It adapted over time, strengthened with age, and endured environments that would destroy most modern constructions. By combining simple materials with keen observation and empirical testing, the Romans created a building method centuries ahead of its time, one that engineers today are still trying to fully replicate. One of the most remarkable aspects of Roman concrete is its ability to repair itself over time. Unlike modern concrete, which gradually weakens as cracks form, Roman concrete contains a hidden mechanism that helps itself heal. Inside the mixture, the Romans included lime clasts, small chunks of partially unreacted lime. When water seeped into a crack, these lime clasts reacted with the moisture, producing new calcium compounds. These compounds gradually filled the cracks, effectively sealing the damage and restoring the material's strength. This self-healing process works especially well in marine environments. Seawater penetrates the concrete, triggering chemical reactions that create additional minerals, further reinforcing the structure. Essentially, the ocean itself strengthens the concrete over time instead of eroding it. This unique property helps explain why Roman harbors and seawalls have survived nearly 2 millennia. Cracks and gaps that would have caused modern concrete to crumble are instead slowly repaired, allowing the material to maintain its durability and stability for centuries. The Romans likely discovered this property through careful observation and experimentation. They may not have understood the chemistry as we do today, but they knew which materials and proportions produced the longest-lasting structures. The result is a material that adapts over time, growing stronger as it ages, a feat modern concrete cannot match. Roman concrete, with its self-healing abilities, proves that the ancient builders were not only masters of construction but also pioneers of an early, natural form of material science. After the fall of the Roman Empire, much of the knowledge behind their advanced construction techniques gradually disappeared. The trade routes that supplied high-quality volcanic ash diminished, and skilled laborers who understood the precise mixing techniques were no longer available. As Europe entered the medieval period, builders relied on simpler materials, primarily stone and basic mortar, abandoning the complex formulas that had made Roman concrete so durable. Over time, the art of mixing volcanic ash with lime in the precise ratios needed for self-healing concrete was forgotten. Generations of builders relied on trial and error, and without access to the same materials, their constructions could never match the longevity of Roman structures. Ancient harbor walls, aqueducts, and monuments continued to stand, silently showcasing the unmatched durability of their creators, even as new buildings crumbled more quickly. When modern concrete was invented in the 1800s, the Roman secret had been lost for more than a millennium. Modern engineers focused on speed, efficiency, and mass production rather than durability. Portland cement, while practical and versatile, lacked the long-term chemical benefits of volcanic ash and lime clasts. As a result, modern concrete structures began to deteriorate in decades rather than centuries, leaving historians and engineers puzzled by the stark contrast with ancient Roman works. This loss was more than a technical failure, it was a shift in priorities. Ancient builders had observed and experimented over centuries, perfecting materials that could endure time and the elements. Modern construction, by contrast, emphasized convenience, cost, and scale. The Romans' careful attention to chemical reactions, material selection, and environmental adaptation was replaced with a one-size-fits-all approach. The disappearance of this knowledge underscores a larger truth. Sometimes even the most advanced innovations can be lost when societies change, trade networks collapse, or priorities shift. Roman concrete stands as a testament to a lost art, a combination of observation, experimentation, and empirical science that produced a material still unmatched today. In recent decades, scientists and engineers have turned their attention to the secret of Roman concrete, hoping to understand and perhaps replicate its remarkable durability. Laboratory experiments have focused on analyzing samples from ancient structures, studying the chemical composition, and recreating mixtures using volcanic ash, lime, and aggregates. Researchers discovered that recreating Roman concrete is not simply a matter of combining ingredients. The proportions, particle sizes, and the source of volcanic ash all play a critical role. Even slight variations can prevent the formation of the crucial crystals, such as aluminum tobermarite, that give the concrete its long-lasting strength. This explains why modern attempts to mimic Roman methods have often fallen short. The Romans had perfected a precise balance through centuries of observation and experimentation. Construction companies and materials scientists are now exploring Roman-inspired concrete for modern applications. Some trials focus on marine structures, where self-healing and seawater-resistant properties could dramatically increase lifespan and reduce maintenance costs. Others aim to develop more sustainable concrete that produces less carbon dioxide than traditional Portland cement. Considering that concrete production accounts for roughly 8% of global CO2 emissions, Roman-style formulas could offer significant environmental benefits. In addition to sustainability, Roman concrete offers insights into resilience. Structures built with modern concrete often fail due to steel corrosion, freeze-thaw cycles, or chemical erosion. Roman concrete, by contrast, strengthens with age and can repair minor damage naturally. Incorporating similar properties into modern materials could lead to longer-lasting bridges, roads, seawalls, and buildings, infrastructure that stands not just decades but potentially centuries. The challenge is translating an ancient technique into modern industrial-scale production. Scientists are experimenting with volcanic ash alternatives and optimized formulas that preserve the chemical reactions while meeting today's engineering standards. The hope is to combine the wisdom of Roman materials science with contemporary construction techniques to create a new era of durable, sustainable infrastructure. Roman concrete is more than a historical curiosity, it is a blueprint for the future. By studying how ancient engineers harnessed natural materials, we can rethink the way we build, improving resilience, reducing environmental impact, and perhaps rediscovering a lost form of construction genius that could reshape the modern world. Roman concrete remains one of the most remarkable achievements in engineering history. From the Pantheon's dome to ancient harbors, it has endured nearly 2,000 years of weather, earthquakes, and human activity. Its durability and self-healing properties continue to inspire modern scientists, proving that ancient engineers were not only skilled builders but also pioneers of materials science. The secret of Roman concrete challenges the assumption that newer is always better. Structures built today may fail within decades, while Roman walls and aqueducts stand as a testament to knowledge, observation, and clever use of natural materials. The legacy of Roman concrete is a reminder that innovation can survive centuries, sometimes even millennia, when combined with patience, precision, and respect for the natural properties of materials. Roman concrete is more than stone and ash. It is a symbol of human ingenuity, durability, and the timeless wisdom of the past. As scientists continue to study and replicate its properties, this ancient material may shape the future of sustainable construction, proving that sometimes, the answers to modern challenges lie hidden in history. The Romans didn't just build structures, they built a legacy that continues to teach, inspire, and endure.